Tonight it should be pretty exciting because we have a variety of things we're going to do. It should, I'm maybe speaking out loud, but I'm thinking it won't be boring tonight. It won't be boring because you, I'm going to lecture for an hour, and then we're going to hear group one presenting matters. So that should be interesting. These people are going to be the first group presenting. They're going to do the best they can, and they're going to do a great job because it's difficult, but it's going to be exciting. I'm going to be very open-minded of all the things that's been said and all this for the sake of everyone to learn. This is a very important first presentation because that's going to really break the way for everyone. And after this, I decided to meet with the groups. So they're going to be 4 meetings, which are going to be pretty short. But I wanted to be able to meet with you because I want to talk about the concept of opportunities and low T. And you will see it's not that easy to identify these opportunities. In fact, the most difficult part of this class is one, to work with a group of people and to agree and to communicate. The second most difficult thing is to identify opportunities, and then everything else is easy. Frankly, everything else is easy. And you will see when we meet today and for the next 3 weeks, finding opportunities is something that is not that easy. If by caring of the happiness of others, we find it is by caring of the happiness of others that we find our own. And I think that's very important to see that it's in some other way you could say that it's nicer to make a gift to someone than receive a gift. And I would say happiness is very much into serving a purpose, doing what you are meant to be doing, helping others. And a lot of people don't believe in this. And the world that we live in right now is kind of so rough, and everyone is aggressive and getting more and more aggressive. I think it's always good to go back to this simple thing, which is that if you help someone else, and if everyone does that. Well, I remember when I lived in Scotland, I lived there for 2 years. I was driving my car, and you would go to a stop sign, but there would be no traffic light. And in the stop sign, everyone was just giving you a sign language to tell you that you should go before them. You go before me. No, no, you go before me. No, you go before me. No, no, you go before me. And I remember I came from at the time I came from south of France, where I was used to act as if there was nobody else but me. And then living in Scotland, I was like, these people are crazy. They all want me to go before them. You know what? I'm gonna go. Nice to be here with people that want you to go. And eventually, like in Rome, be like the Romans. I was starting to be like the Scottish people and tell everyone to go. And then when I was going back to France, people thought I was crazy because I wanted everyone to go before me. So there's something to learn from those people that are really helping others. And why am I saying this? Is because marketing is a very powerful tool that allows you to not only help yourself, but help other people in your own movements. So you create this movement, you have leadership, you use marketing to build this power in order to help others. But what is marketing? And I always try to go back to make sure that you understand the concept, which is the subject of this class. Marketing is about satisfaction. Marketing is about understanding your customers. Marketing is about creating a profit so your company can reinvest this profit again to make more satisfied people, happier people. And you're trying to do it in the long term. So you don't have this mind which is constantly short-term oriented, just thinking about solving current problems, but you try to project yourself in the future. Marketing is on another concept which we will look in depth, each one of these in depth, but it's also called the marketing mix, which is equal to the terms of 4 Ps. So there are 4 P. First one is product, second one is oftentimes defined as price, and then promotion, and then place. So product is self-explanatory, is what you're selling. Price is at what price you're selling it. You're also trying to make a profit, so you need to think about the price. Is there too low price, too high price? So you have to define this. Maybe there's a price that is right for one person, not so much for another. And then promotion is about communication. So it should have been called communication, and place has to do with distribution. So really it should be PPCD or PPDC. But the reality is if you told people marketing is about PPDC, people would not remember. So they said the 4 Ps to simplify it. So it simplifies it, but it makes it difficult. Marketing myopia is this idea that every successful industry becomes a not successful industry. And so that's kind of very true in so many different things. Once you're successful, you become vulnerable. Once you're successful, you become arrogant. Once you're successful, you become comfortable. Once you're successful, you become sort of satisfied with what you have, and therefore you don't try to innovate. It's very important to innovate because you have to think about the world constantly changing. There was a time people looked at TV. Now we are looking at our phone. There was a time there were people making photographic cameras. Now they are making phones, which are doing all kinds of different things. So it's very important to see that the world is changing. And if you don't see it changing, then you will be suffering from not seeing those changes. So myopia is to think that you are making drill beats. I'm in the business of making drill beats. What's anti-myopia is to say, I'm in the business of making holes. I make holes. I help people make better holes. Do I make drill bits? Well, I may be making drill bits right now, but tomorrow maybe it's a laser. And the day after, maybe it's ultrasound. Whatever is making better holes is what I do. I'm not in love with the product. I'm in love with the solution that I give to my customers. So that's what's very important, is being in love with the solution and not being in love with the product. Products, they change. The problems that people are looking for solution, these don't change as much, and therefore you keep fixing it. So how do you see that your marketing is successful? Well, you have more customers, you have more people satisfied, you have more profits. So there's some kind of financial success. The environmental success as well is that you have helped more people, more human beings. You have helped more animals. You have helped the society. You have helped your civilization. And that's very, very important. And then you've helped people. People were minorities. You've helped people who had disabilities, and you've helped people that were, on the fringes. And so these people are included. And it's also very good to have a social impact, because it's not about excluding, it's about including, and it's about trying to understand that everyone is different, and that's a great thing. But at the same time, everyone is the same, and that's a wonderful thing. So understanding the differences, understanding the similarities is all it's about. And you don't want everyone to be the same, and you don't want everyone to not have the opportunity to be different. If they want to be different, that's okay. Marketing embraces this because they nurture on the fact that there are differences, because then they can serve the differences with different offerings. So why you see a slowdown of growth is because of myopia and being too focused on the product and not on the market. So at the end of this, what is it that makes you a good marketer? Is you someone that is pro-innovation. But that's a little biased, because oftentimes marketers are always about newer is better as well, always constantly creating something new. But the faster you create something new, the more you put yourself in a position that you have to keep cannibalizing what you've created. So should you create something new and wait 8 years? Why not 10 years? Well, let's do 10 years. But if you wait 10 years, maybe you don't stay competitive. So you have to be careful, because you have to stay competitive, but at the same time, not auto-cannibalize yourself. I mean, think about iconic product that we all use, like an iPhone. How quickly do you want to change it? If you change it too quickly, you make your product become obsolete too quickly. But if you don't change it quickly enough, then you give some space for another company to come up with the innovation. So it's gauging this and sensing this. And so therefore, and we'll discuss that, you have to do some research, understanding in when is it too late and when is it too early. So I have this concept, which is to work well in the present and the future, you have to understand the present, the future, and also the past. And you have to understand your strengths and weaknesses, the company, the culture of the company, and then you have to understand the market outside. All of the things are in the market, and one of the important element of the market are your customers and your competitors, but also the government, and also the resources and the regulation and all that. Now, a question for you. I've been speaking, and I'm sort of speaking fast because I don't want this video to be boring. So if you go back to it, I don't want a lot of silence. I'm like you. I listen to a lot of videos, and I don't like this kind of people. So I try to be good with my words. And so, but speaking fast, what does a business need the most? Money, market research, help, time, a solid business plan. What do you think?
Market
Usually all
research.
of them.
All of the above.
All of the above. That's true. You
I
do.
say B.
So you say B. So Pure says B. The reality is they all look good. You do need all of these. One thing that is very common for business people is to say, oh, I can't, I love to do this business. It's my dream, but I won't do it because I don't have enough money. The most common feedback I get from students, and I've already had a number of exchange with students that told me that they have a business and that they're actually enjoying this class because they can see how it relates to their business, which sometimes has nothing to do with the industry of music, but they're saying that gives me a really good inspiration for going back or doing more and all this. So that's, to me, that's the best compliment I can get is people see that it can be used right away. So you should use all of these, but there's some that are more important. So Pure says market research. Now the question is, why is market research, you think, the most important one?
I'm sorry, Professor, what did you say? I missed the part.
I was saying Pure said market research is the best one. So I'm asking her why she thinks
Oh, you're
market
asking
research.
me. Oh, I thought you
Yes.
asked the class. Oh, okay. So market research, basically, you have to like know your market. You have to, you can't really sell if you don't have the specific audience that you're selling to. So that's why I would pick B,
So
because that's the
market
most
research,
that
yes.
Mhm.
So you're relating it to the customers. If you don't know your customers, how do
Correct.
you know what
That's
to do?
exactly
And
right.
so it's, I would say your answer is the second best answer, but there's one above that. And the reason is that the one above that is has a section which has to do with market research. So market research is a subsection of something bigger,
The business plan.
the
B,
business
the
plan.
business plan.
Yes, exactly. So when you write a business plan, you have to write a section on market research. You have to write a section on customers. You have to write a section on competitors. You have to write a section on budgets. You have to write a section on sales forecasts. You have to write a section on the opportunities. You have to write a section on the strategies. You have to write a section on finance, a section production, a section communication. Okay, so you have so many sections. So a solid business plan is great because it means a solid business plan is you've looked at many different aspects. And so to succeed in business, there's one that is not answered. So it's F. It's F. What do you need the most in business? Nobody ever answered me that, but you need F,
Initiative.
which means, so what?
Initiative.
Well, you need initiative, but what it is that you need to look at a lot of things and preparation. Most preparation, the better. So a lot of people say business is quick. You just hustle. I hustle, I hustle, I hustle. I have some friends that are, I don't know, you could say they're successful because they have millions of dollars in the bank. They have no education, they have no business plan, and they just hustle. And it's true, you can succeed, which means the hustle is they work 20 hours a day and they get quick at buying, quick at selling. They are constantly doing things, doing deals, doing deals. How have you done this month? Done well, lots of deals. And so they end up making a lot of money. They buy a house, they sell it, they flip one, they buy another thing, they buy a commercial building, they flip it, and they're constantly hustling and hustling and hustling. When I get into what they do, I realize that they could work half of what they're working and get the same result if they had a plan. But because they just think it's a waste of time to have a plan, they just hustle and they just, as they getting older, it's becoming harder for them to work as hard and hustle. So their production is going down and they're making more mistakes because they have no preparation. So the big issue is when you go buy a book on entrepreneurship, people go buy books and then you say, what did you learn the most in the book? Oh, what I learned the most in the book confused me. What do you mean? It confuses me because it says you should prepare as much as you can. And then it says that if you over prepare, you're going to start procrastinating and do nothing. So too much preparation generates too much procrastination, which means that you do nothing. And this is very true. So you can't be this person that's looking for perfection in the preparation. As you prepare, nothing is perfect enough that you delay, and then you don't do anything. And then when you start doing something, if you don't have a positive result, you give up and abandon because you say, I prepared so much, it should have been perfect. So the idea is too little preparation is bad, too much preparation in most cases, not all cases. I mean, if you're going to be a surgeon, the most preparation is better. But if you're going to be a NASA engineer, the most preparation is better. But if you're doing a business, most of the time, enough is enough. So there's F that is missing there is preparing as much as you can. But a solid business plan is one tangible way to prepare yourself by looking at all the different sections. And so market research is embedded in a business plan. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the business plan today because it's important. Now, next question. Do you have any questions following this? Okay, so I think business plans are for the birds, nice but not necessary, something I can do with my accountant, useful and informative, essential, wouldn't do business without them. And so what do you think is the answer?
I'm sorry, mine broke up, Professor. Can you say it one
I
more
would
time?
say
I think C, D, and E could apply. Or
C, D, and E.
yes.
So, so obviously A and B is terrible. So I agree with you. It has to be either C, either D, or either E. But in that situation, it's got to be just one. There's one that is better.
E.
E
Well,
might be
I'm
better,
going
but I
E
think D
here
is what
too.
most people. I think D is what most people do, and but E is is what we should do.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Bryant is correct. D is what most people do. Well, what most people would answer, right? It's like, hey, why not? Something to do. Necessary? I don't know. Essential? That's too much. So they would skip the concept that is essential. And why do I say that? I consult for, I don't know, 50 businesses a year. And out of those 50 businesses, if they are small businesses, none of them, out of 50, I never get one that has a business plan. Even a marketing plan or even a one-pager, they usually have nothing. And so that's a big problem. It's like my undergraduate students. Every week at the end of the lecture, I tell them, please read the chapter before you come to class next week. And I tell them that because I know most of them will do nothing. And at the end, I tell them, I know you won't read the chapter, but read at least the title of the chapter before you come to class next week. So then I see they laugh and they say, oh, wow, this professor at least knows the truth. Most people don't do what's necessary. And so it's kind of interesting because it's like the complex of insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. And business people are like this also, is they try to do what everybody else is doing. They're buying books. And they're buying books to see if they can learn from a book from some successful person and replicate that and doing it again and again and not understanding why they don't get the same result. Because you have to do it your own way. You have to do it for the moment that you're doing it, for the target. So there's nothing really that you can replicate, but you have to understand the philosophy behind. You have to understand the dynamics. You have to understand how the thing works and then do it your way, you know? So it's like people that look at boxing videos or martial art, mixed martial arts video, and they've seen so many mixed martial arts video that they think now they can defend themselves. It just doesn't work. You have to practice it in order to be good at it. Watching video doesn't make you a warrior. And so the same thing, reading books doesn't make you a good businessman. And so this is very important. So it's saying, it's like saying sparring is E. Sparring is essential to become a good fighter. If you don't do sparring, you won't be a good fighter. Just looking at video is not going to do it. Or reading a book on how to punch someone in the nose, it's not going to help you. So what's very important is to understand that sparring is important, and the same thing, writing the business plan is very important. So now, having said that, should the business plan be 300 pages? No. What if your business plan is 6 pages, 5 pages? Well, that's better than nothing. And in 5 pages, at least you've shown that you have done some preparation. So that's what is very, very important. You're getting an MBA. My objective is by the end of May that you, that happens a lot, that you are working on your own business plan of whatever you're doing, and you're not trying to wing it, hustle, and pray. It's not going to help you. You have to start putting things on papers. So then the student, I have to say that's one of my satisfaction is I think I've convinced pretty much everyone on that. Write something short, okay, nothing is bad. And so business plans are very important. Writing something, putting something on paper is very important. In fact, when you are working on a partnership and you're developing a business with someone else, is it more or less important? It's more important. Why? Because you need to have meetings of the mind. If you keep talking to this person and you say, oh, we are like buddy, we understand each other, it's almost like a perfect marriage. Whatever I say, this person understands it and all that. Do you put anything on paper? No, because we think alike. That's a bad idea. Put it on paper. Because
I've been
you need
there,
to.
right?
You've been there, excellent. So the people who have been there are listening to me right now and saying, oh my God, it's so right. That's the worst thing you do is you don't
More
put
than
it on
once.
paper. More than once, yeah. So it's okay. I've been there too. So the idea is if you make the mistake, make it less and less, which means that the first time you didn't have a paper and you've been working 4 years, then got burned. The second time you didn't have a paper and you worked a month and got burned. The second time you worked for a week. And the third time you do it right away. And in fact, it's not that much work. It's just a simple memo, meeting of the mind. You said X, I said Y, we're on grid on Z. Next time we meet, we work on this and all that. That's the best thing you can do. Little memo, little agendas, little records. I call that. Having records is not the worst thing. People who are succeeding have records. People who do not have records, they're going to be in trouble. Okay, so that's why you see this class is preparing you mentally for the exercise. And then you have some assignments, some real assignments, some sparring assignment. Like today we have Matters, group 1, doing sparring in front of us. We're going to look at them doing sparring. But you're only going to learn a little bit. The best you're going to learn is when you do it yourself. So that's going to be what the job is today. But anyway, when you're in business, you need to find and make a decision, find some ideas and make a decision. So this marketing decision is made by looking at the environment, the constraint of the environment, and the good things of the environment. So you have to see what's happening in the environment that is changing and you can take advantage of, and what's outside of the environment. And so we're looking at that. This, if you've studied before, one of them is called the pest analysis, also called the pestle. Pestle. Sometimes you hear pestle, and sometimes you put pest. What I will recommend is that, I don't ask you very often to write down. I mean, you can write as much as you can. You can record. It's recorded. I'm actually, if you go in Canvas, the previous class is already posted in the Canvas week 2. If you look at lecture recorded video, you click on this and you'll see the first one, the second one. Everything is going to keep adding up. But anyway, so I would recommend you write down P-E-S-T, and then you write down P-E-S-T-L-E. And then you Google that, and then you learn what these are. This will not be a waste of your time. I'm just saying, I'm only going to tell you to write 9 times between now and May. So maybe there's a reason. So write this down and studying them on the side. You're going to have to anyway. It's impossible to do this class and next class without doing it. So you may as well train yourself. But what's inside? So P is for political. So all the political changes. E is for economical. S social, and then T technological. What's important with this is that the pest is very good, but this information goes inside your SWOT. So before you do a SWOT, should you do a pest? Probably. In fact, S, it's sort of SW, it's the company. So it's, in your case, Loti. And then O and T is the PEST. So the PEST is what you look at, and then you infuse it inside the opportunities and threats. So I'm going to say this many times, but I want to keep rolling with it. So here you have 2 products, and I ask you to pick one. Which one would you pick?
Clearance.
19, yeah, clearance.
It
Clearance.
depends
I
on the
try and
quality.
get some information, of course, if I'm saving money.
My
Like-
account set up.
But I
Depends.
need some information as to why.
Yeah. So some people are going to pick the 19, some people are going to pick the 69, right? And it all depends. Remember, I told you this last week. Most of the answer are it depends. It's kind of funny. And so it depends who you are. I mean, yesterday I was on campus and I was parking. In front of me was a M5 BMW. I don't know, $120,000. And behind me was an M3 BMW, brand new. In those cars was a young lady and the other one was a young man. I'm guessing they must be quite rich. Those cars are over $100,000. They didn't pick the Hyundai, cheap promo car. They picked the expensive one. Does it make it better? It depends. It depends if you're, like, for example, if you're a professional cook, you may want to spend more money. If you don't cook very often, maybe you spend the least amount of money. If you think cooking is important in your life, maybe you spend more money. If cooking is not important, you spend the least amount of money. I mean, you buy a guitar as a professional musician, you don't buy the same guitar as a beginner. As a beginner adult versus a beginner who's 8 years old, you don't buy the same guitar or the same drum set because you have different experiences, because you've had good and bad experiences. Maybe you bought a lot of 1999 and then you just had enough of these and you wanted to buy something better. There may be something as simple as the more expensive must be better, the cheaper must not be that good. I want quality, I spend more money. But I also, so does that make sense? It all depends on many different characteristics. This depends creates an opportunity for a business person. What opportunity does it create? It creates the opportunity that you may decide to have both, or you may decide to have just one or the other. Why would you decide to have one or the other? Well, it depends. If your customers are looking for higher quality and they are more professional, you will go for the $69.99 that you'll produce. But if you want to sell to customers that are looking for the, just to have it and in case they need it for very few times a year, then you have the $19.99. If you want your brand to be perceived as higher quality, you're going to focus on products that tends to be more expensive compared to the other products. So the opportunity here is there's different people with different needs. That's an opportunity in itself. Understanding opportunities is very, very important. Here's a little case study of a vodka. Normally, what's the color of a vodka?
White.
Clear.
Clear. Normally, it's got no color.
Right.
So it's normally clear like water. And therefore, people think, sometimes people say, oh, I only drink vodka because it's clear. And then you go, why? Well, if it's not clear, it gives me a headache. That's a perception. Does it have to be right or does it have to be wrong? Most of the time, people are wrong because it's based on some personal knowledge, which is based on something that they read somewhere or they heard, and they just remember it. And then they associate some situation with more headache, less headache, and then they recognize it's because it's clear versus not clear. But there's no relationship between both. Anyway, the only relationship is sometimes when it's not clear, they put more artificial colorings, and then eventually the artificial colorings is maybe what gets you off. But anyway, now when you look at this vodka, it's a little confusing because you go, but this vodka is not clear. And another thing that is interesting is it says cognac in a different font. In a way, it's almost like you wonder if it's two products, like a vodka with cognac. And in fact, it's pretty dark. This may be just a cognac. And in fact, the bottle looks like a cognac bottle much more than a vodka bottle. Hey, that's great. Why did you think they made that product?
To sell more vodka.
To sell more vodka. Correct answer. What other answer do you think? What was the opportunity?
to try and get a mixed market, people who want quality, perception, and the class of cognac. But you know, blend of it, I guess.
So what it is that 85% of cognac is consumed by African Americans in the United States of America. So only 15% is consumed by the other group. And most of these 15% are Asians, very few of the other ethnicities. So African Americans drink a lot of cognac. However, do they drink a lot of vodka? Not as much. So how do you make an African American drink vodka? You confuse them that it's a cognac. And then what you also do is you make sure it's a good price, because obviously a vodka and a cognac, there's probably 4 to 5 times cheaper on average. So what's good with this, and I'm going to zoom so you see what I mean, is what they did is they actually says infused with, very small. And so infused with cognac, it means there's almost nothing of cognac, because infused means it's like the vodka bottle essentially was moved in the same room where there were cognac, and that's why you can say it was infused. But because these people like money, so what they do is they make sure that the product becomes very dark, because if it was not becoming very dark, it would be bad if the infusion was just theoretical. So they had to add food coloring inside to make it dark, and it's legal. And they wrote cognac in a way that most people would see cognac maybe even faster than the word vodka. But at the same time, the word cognac is written smaller in terms of font than vodka and all this, so they can be accepted by the government. And this is not called cheating. It's just borderline. This product was invented by a person that started with this and became a multi-millionaire in a matter of a few weeks. Very smart.
Wow.
By doing this. So this, again, every successful business can be explained by looking at the opportunity. The opportunity is cognac is expensive, vodka is cheap. African American likes cognac, they don't drink any vodka. This is going to be sold for $19. It looks like a $50 or more vodka. Perfect. It's like selling zirconium and selling diamonds. And now it's even better because you can sell man-made or machine-made diamonds, and then you can sell it for even cheaper. They're even more pure than the real diamonds. So therefore, what's the benefit of buying a real diamond if you can get it's a diamond, it's man-made diamond, it's cheaper and it's more pure. Opportunity. There's a lot of people that would rather have the fake that looks like a real for less. And so that's the world we live in. That's an opportunity. When you sell breakfast cereal, what is it that you need to have for sure that is a requirement? And these pictures give you the tip. What is it that you need to have? It's a must.
A character.
The character, exactly.
Who are you selling to?
That's who you're selling to. So that's the opportunity. Most
Oh, the kids.
most breakfast cereal are consumed by kids. Do the kids care for the nutrition? No. Write the nutrition as small as possible to keep the space for a big character. Now, what character do they like? Well, they like dogs and cats and lions and dragons. And so then you see if you can use that. But then sometimes it's tricky because it's already used by someone else. Which one do you use? So you have to design a bunch of these until you find one that when the kids look at it, they remember it. And it goes with the name, and you associate it with the name and all of this. So that's very, very important. Opportunity is kids like cartoons. Cartoons sell. So all I'm telling you today, my objective is to drill the concept of opportunity. Group one is going to come and present matters. Hopefully, they're going to drill the opportunity. And your presentation on the 16th of March is about really nailing the opportunity and convincing us of your opportunity for Lodi. So here again, to identify opportunity, you look at the customers. Best opportunities come from the customers. You look at what the competitors do, and then you look at what you can do. where do you mine the opportunities? You mine the opportunities in your environment. First, in the pink circle, because that's the closest one to you. So number one is the customers. You get your opportunities from the customers on their changes. They want cartoons, give them cartoons. Intermediaries are the people that do the distribution, the logistics, the people that come up with invention. Your suppliers are the one that gives you the raw material to make your products. Your competitors, obviously, they are very important because they may be doing something better than you that you can get inspired with. And then the public are the people that may be or may not be buying the product, but they see you when you're working. Then you have the micro. So the macro with an A, Mac, like Macintosh, is the yellow one, and the mic, like a microphone, that microphone is close to you, is the pink. So the mic is close to you, and the mic has a direct impact on your company versus the pink, the yellow Mac has a surrounding impact, an indirect on your company. But they're very important too. So the one that is extremely important these days is political. All the regulation, economic, do people have a job? Do they have any money? Demographic, I mean, do we have too many young, too many old, too many people in one country, too many people in, or less people in one area? You know, are people moving? Are they coming in? Natural is we have resources. You know, I mean, are we going to sell something for resources that are disappearing or using resources that are rare? Technological, obviously, this one has growing importances, is that the fact that you have to think of the impact of technology, to use the technology in your product, to use your technology in your services, to use the technology in the distribution, in the manufacturing, and so forth. And then finally, and I kept it for the end, is cultural. Cultural is directly connected to the customers. So the customers is the micro element, because you're talking about the specific person, and the culture is like the society element. The group element, the values of our group. So all of this will go, so the company goes inside the SW, strengths and weaknesses, and then everything else goes inside the opportunities and the threats. So going back, could natural be an opportunity? Yes. Could it be a threat? Yes. Could the economy be an opportunity? Yes. I mean, right now, if you're selling a ski vacation, the economy is not good, so there's less people going skiing. But if you're selling Ferraris and Bentleys, there's more people buying Ferraris and Bentleys. I think it's the historical record. 2023 was the most Bentleys and Rolls-Royce and Ferrari ever sold in the past 100 years. So the economy is bad, but it's not bad for everybody. Strangely enough, it's extremely good for some people and extremely bad for some others. So that's why you see huge consumption of certain things and huge decrease of consumption for some other things. So all of these can be opportunities and threats, all right? So what are strengths? What you're good at? Weaknesses? What you're not so good at? So Lottie is good at singing. Lottie is not so good at dancing, as far as I can tell, because I haven't seen her dance. Opportunities. Opportunities is more and more people are depressed. Mental depression is going up. Why would that be? Why mental depression be an opportunity for Lori?
Because the form of her songs, they can address it.
Exactly. So you got it. So you don't say Lottie should do X. You actually talk about a fact, a change in the environment that you can take advantage of. Okay. So where does the mental issue goes? The mental issue goes into customers, you know, certain customers more depressed, and cultural. The fact that there's, you know, increase this and increase that and increase mental depression. So these are opportunities. Obviously, you know, I'm using examples that make sense. I'm not using examples that I'm very happy with, but they just hopefully help you to understand. And I'm going to keep going with this. And then threats in the environment. Well, threats in the environment is quite a large number of people who are singing and trying to pep up people and that genre. I don't know exactly the statistics on the growth and all that and the number of sales, but but it may be growing because of the overall mental state pretty much everywhere. So opportunities are not IDs. That's the biggest problem with people. You're not going to say what Lottie should do in the opportunity section. If you say what Lottie should do, that's not an opportunity. If you say what Lottie should do, that's a tactic or a strategy. So what Lottie should do, what is it? A tactic or maybe a strategy. So what's an opportunity? It's an element, a fact, a change that she can take advantage of. Just a fact. Opportunities are not what you're going to do. Opportunities are facts changing the environment that you can take advantage of. So obviously these two slides are pretty obnoxious. Why do you think I wrote it so many times? Because I'm going to say it so many times. Are you still going to say that opportunities are not what you're going to do to some people, some groups in a month? In a month? I hope not. But in 2 weeks, yes, I will still repeat myself and say opportunities are not what you're going to do. Opportunities are just facts. Like, for example, if I tell you that it's going to rain tomorrow, am I telling you what to do? It's just a fact. If I tell you, because it's going to rain tomorrow, you should buy an umbrella, is that an opportunity? No, because I'm telling you what to do. Every time I tell you what to do, it's a tactic or a strategy. If I tell you it's going to rain, it's just a fact. So in the opportunity section, we should only have facts, right? Yes, into the opportunity section, you should only have facts. You should only say gas prices are going up. It is going to rain tomorrow. The economy is going down. Inflation is going up. Only facts. Okay, so that's very, very important. Let's look at some samples. So here I repeat myself again. Opportunities are not what you're going to do. So then I say opportunities to sell more organic chicken. Why is this not an opportunity? And I'm going to ask this to David Medina. Why opportunities to sell more organic chicken is not an opportunity? To David Medina.
Yeah, I hear you. One sec, I'm kind of thinking through it. I'm just a little confused with how you phrase it. We want to focus on the opportunity,
Yes,
not
the fact,
necessarily, yeah, the fact,
and not the ID.
not the not the idea as to how we can capitalize on it. Correct?
Correct.
All right. So what was your question again?
So
Sorry.
the question is, why is this wrong?
Is that people? Okay.
Because I'm saying what to do.
Our opportunities are not what we're going to do.
Exactly.
Opportunities
So
are
here
fact.
I'm saying sell more organic chicken. That's the opportunity. No. That's what you should be doing. So what do you think is the opportunity?
Shortage or an influx of people who want to buy. Are you talking to all of us or David?
I'm talking to David for right now because I want him to go through the process and people hear it. Everyone's going to have to do this. This is the hardest thing as a team member. The second hardest thing is this. If you can do this, if it's easy, if by tonight you can do it, you're going to get a hey and you're going to think it was too easy. But not very few people are able to do that by the first day, the second week, the third week. It takes a while because that's the business way of thinking. Is you don't think in terms of what to do, you think in terms of the material, the situation that you can take advantage of, and that's called an opportunity. So David, what's the opportunity? How would you turn opportunities to sell more organic chicken into an opportunity?
Would it be have something to do with like manufacturing or availability of organic chicken? Would that have some sort of influence?
You're getting closer.
Okay.
You're getting closer.
I think it would be more of if something presents itself in terms of, say, we do have more opportunities to raise more organic chicken, then maybe the idea would be to capitalize on that.
Okay, so it's very good. So your answer is correct. So then the way you're saying it, you see, it would be like from here. Today's technology allows us to produce more organic chicken. Is that an opportunity? Yeah, I'm using technology. New technology allows me to produce more chicken. Now, so that's what you said. So great, but it's not an A plus. Your answer is a A minus, a B plus. Why? What is the most important factor in the environment of all of these? Is it political? Is it the competitor? Is it the customer? Is it who's the most important? If you only had to have one, which one would you have?
Maybe the customer, their customer, their needs.
Exactly. So you got it. So you see you're on the right track. So the most important is the customer. So now try to turn this opportunity from a customer perspective. Opportunities to sell more organic chicken, that's wrong because that's what you should be doing. So what should be the opportunity?
Is that the opportunity would be like on the bottom, what it says is people
Yeah.
want to have more organic chicken.
Exactly.
Got it.
So what it is the best opportunities are customer driven. So it's like people are dying for organic food. You know, organic food are increasing popularity by 25% in the past 6 months, according to Nielsen data. Perfect. Don't invent if the customers are already telling you what they want. Inventing is the hardest thing. Give them what they want. So if customers come and say, fact, I want more organic chicken. Fact, I want more apples, organic apples. Fact, I want more bananas. So then you making cake. You're going to do banana cake. They want more bananas. You're doing, I don't know, what's bananas? You're doing protein shake. You're going to do banana protein shake. If they want more bananas, give them what they want.
Yeah.
So the fact is what drives your business, not what you want to do. It should be based on the fact. Now, after 2 weeks of doing this, you're going to look at the program called Shark Tank, and you're going to see a totally different way. It's going to give you a turbo boost because you're going to look at the Shark Tank and you go, oh, that's it. That's why they pitched the opportunity at the very beginning, because they want to tell the sharks that they've understood the facts. Because you don't invest in an idea, you invest in a fact. If people want more organic chicken and you're going to be producing more organic chicken, then I'm happy to invest in your business. But if you're telling me I have a great idea, I'm going to do organic chicken, how do I know it's a great idea? Maybe because I know you're my friend, and I say, oh, you're my friend, I have to tell you it's a good idea. Or maybe because it sounds good, but sounding good is not enough. In business, you want to make money, you want some reassurance. So the reassurance comes from the facts. Thank you, David, for your participation and going through the intellectual process. I know I was grinding on you, but it's important because I want everyone to hear. So now let's look at another exercise. Which one is an opportunity? So you have two choices. And so you have 35% of pools in SoCal are in need of repair according to the SoCal Pool Bureau. Then 2, Max could offer an online bidding platform for pool repair. And so I'm going to ask maybe Sia. Are you here? Sia, can you hear me? Sia Simpson. Okay, fantastic. So here you have two choices, and here's the same thing, is what do you think is an opportunity? Opportunity are facts. Opportunity are not suggestion of what you should be doing.
Right. Yeah, I think number 1.
Number 1, that's correct. Number 1 is telling you that there is a growing need for repair of pools. Versus number 2 is telling you what to do. So you got it 100%. Now we're gonna ask Sarah. Sarah Tamanaa. Sarah Tamanaa. Which one is an opportunity? There's an opportunity to use online and wireless technology to allow people to use their car to give taxi services. Max could use his entrepreneurial skills to offer a competitive bidding platform, taxi services, kind of like Uber.
Would it be 1?
So it's 1. Correct. Because you're not saying what to do. You're
Right.
talking about the technology. And so it's important to look at this. So now I'm going to keep going. So this was done by some students, and they found that there were people that wanted to eat mushrooms that they grew. So they created a kit to grow a mushroom from your house. Here, a company created Fiesta Auto Insurance. Why did they do that? Because they found that there were a lot of Hispanics, and the Hispanic people wanted to buy auto insurance from a company that was owned by Hispanics, and where you would go and everybody would be Hispanic. So it was like a cultural thing. Opportunity, lots of Hispanics. Opportunity, not many Hispanics. If there's not many Hispanics, don't do an auto insurance for Hispanics. But if there's lots of them, and they care for an organization that sounds Hispanic, that speaks Hispanic, that by Hispanic owned, managed, women Hispanics, and all these things. Therefore, that's what you do. Give them what you want to do. Is you have to know this ahead of time. So here's an example. You want to sell this. Where do you sell it? What would you do? It's a decoy duck. It's a decoy duck that is used in order to go hunting for duck. So you go to some kind of lake, you hide yourself in a bush, and you take this decoy duck and you put it right in front of you, and then you buy a little little something, but now you don't want it anymore. What do you do with it? How would you sell it? How much is it worth? You'll sell it on eBay for $2,500 because eBay is an opportunity. eBay has millions of people that goes. On eBay, there's many of those decoy vintage hunting duck that you can find. And there's people that look every day for the hunting vintage stuff that they can buy and all of this. So it's a technological opportunity, and it's a group of people that will be gathered. Here's an example of a company that we work for. A2 Milk. It's a $2 billion milk company in the United States, and they sell a milk from a cow that they discovered was making A2 protein more than any other cow. So they find this cow and they replicated these cows, and they're only using these cows that have a lot of A2 protein. So who cares? Well, A2 protein, people digest it naturally. So if you are like, you have an issue with milk, you don't have an issue with their milk because you can digest it. It's good for people that have digestive issue problem with milk because the A2 protein is actually naturally produced by that type of cow. They created this company. It was created as a hobby, and now it's one of the fastest growing milk company in the United States. So the opportunity is a lot of people cannot digest milk. A2 protein is the one that is easy to digest, and there's a specific type of cow that makes a mostly A2, if not only A2 type of protein milk. Bingo, you can put together. They came to us and they asked us what we could do. And we found that this milk could be turned into powder milk. And so they could create A2 powder milk. And they could be used when people go camping, when people travel, when people go to the office. They could have some powder A2 milk that they put inside their coffee or their tea and so forth. So we gave them that. This is a company that created an app which tells you where there are gardens, public gardens, private gardens, open gardens, closed gardens, club gardens, and all of this. They came to us and they say, hey, what can we do? What's the opportunity? And we found many different opportunities, but one of them was the fact that there's people that like to buy fruits from people's garden, and they're looking for where can they get the fruit. So one of the functions that we told them that they should add is people selling the fruits from their trees. And they would put it on the app, and people will put where they are and see all the different houses and so forth. There would be fruits for trees. So what's the opportunity? The opportunity is there's people that care for fresh fruits that are organically grown, and they are not from some kind of farmer that gets exploited by a distributor and a retailer, by someone that is a neighbor, that you could get some fresh fruits from a neighbor, and you'd be happy to help a neighbor, have a conversation, and that's kind of a peer-to-peer type of thing using an app. Bingo, this person started doing this and loved it. Here is a company that gives consulting services to company that grow flowers and sells flowers to Costco and so many different Walmart, so many different organizations in America. Well, we found two things as opportunity. One is that in America, the business of where they're in is quite, it's sort of stagnating, but we found that the Middle East is actually booming, and there's nobody that gives consulting in that industry, just no one. So the opportunity is whatever they do, the need is exploding in Dubai and Qatar and Abu Dhabi versus is stagnating in America. And we found out that one of their strengths was the fact that they spoke Arabic. One of the co-owner speaks Arabic. So we find your strength is to speak Arabic, Dubai speaks Arabic, and they need you 10 times more than America needs you. Maybe it's a time to plan for a move. Other opportunity. We found that we are selling, working in the crystal industry and trying to sell crystals, and mostly women that think about crystal and the mental relaxation of having crystal and seeing crystal. They like that. And then we found that there's a lot of women that did like those crystal. There were also yoga lady, and they would bring their bottle to the yoga, and they will drink and from a specific bottle. So then we thought of this idea of a crystal inside a yoga bottle. And when we did that, we found that there was already a company existing called Glacé that sells this. So it is very important to understand opportunity, because the opportunity is the mother of any businesses. But to do this, you have to understand people. So when you see this guy, why do you think this car this guy drives? This guy drives this car. It makes sense. Have you ever done that? Everybody's done that. Is that marketing? That's 100% marketing. Is what kind of product goes to what kind of person? What kind of person likes what kind of product? And you do this back and forth. So is someone else. What kind of car this person is going to drive? This person is going to drive that car. And so what you do is you match product with people. People becomes opportunity. So you don't make products and then look for someone. Is you learn the people and then give them what they want. There's many different kinds of gym. I mean, Gold Gym is not the same as LA Fitness, is not the same as 24 Fitness, is not the same as Equinox. Here's Equinox ads. These Equinox ads are very different than the Gold Gym ads, because they are for different people with different interests. Jesse Itzler is a music artist, like you, in this industry, a rapper, an author, a sports person, an entrepreneur. He's a multimillionaire. In 1994, he created the theme song for the New York Knicks basketball called Go New York Go. He did this song. He was the starting. He got quite a success in terms of notoriety. And as he got notoriety, he realized that he didn't charge enough for the song, so he made very little money from the song. But he made a lot of friends because of the professional basketball team. And so he started flying first class. He started even flying in private jets. As he started flying in private jets, he found an opportunity to do something slightly different in private jets. So he took $5,000 and he went to a meeting of the people that offer services of private jets. And he created Marquis Jets in 2001, which he sold to the biggest private jet company in the world called NetJets for several hundred millions of dollars. But then he lost all of the money and he started this thinking he should go into sports. So in 2006, he decided he should go into a running marathon. But as he was running marathon, he realized that the water he was drinking was not good enough. And you could drink the Gatorade and that was not good enough and all this thing. And then he started realizing by reading books that the best type of water to drink is coconut water. So then he started running, drinking coconut water, and then he created this company called Zico. And he sold this Zico coconut water to Coca-Cola for, I think, $1 billion or something like this. So then at that time, he was smart, older, he didn't lose all of his money, and he became a serial entrepreneur, and he bought himself a basketball team. So what you need to understand is he's not a genius. What he understands is the concept of what people want, what innovation can I bring, give people what the people want. And so it's very important as a business person to understand that you have to help people and you have to come up with solutions to their problems. And so I wanted to speak to you about the attribution theory. The attribution theory is everything that happens to you that is good and is bad, it's because of you. You should be, at the end of the day, the only person that is responsible for the good things that happen to you or the bad things that happens to you. Because you can only change yourself, you can only control yourself, and this is called the attribution theory. A lot of people when they succeed, they say because of me, and when they fail, they try to blame someone else. And they do inner attribution, outer attribution. And so it's extremely important to understand this concept. For this, I'm giving you a video from someone that is just amazing, Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant is amazing in terms of attribution. So this video, I put it in the announcement. So when you have time, you can go look at the video. I think it's 15 minutes. And it does not say the word attribution, but he talks about what he does in life that made him a successful person. And I guess he didn't realize he was talking about the attribution theory. He was using his own words, but I wanted you to know that exactly what he was saying is called attribution. So you can go look at the video. The video is entertaining. He's a cool person, and you're going to learn what he says. And then if you're curious, you go on Google and you put the word attribution theory and you study 5 minutes what it means. If I ask 100 people to do this, I would have 5 people that come back to me and say, wow, that changed my life. I didn't know about attribution theory. So obviously, me doing this to 25 people, there may be only one person that will get the bug of what I'm saying, but it's okay. So now, which one of the following statements is a business opportunity for a brand that makes masks, filter masks? Since the air is polluted, we should be making pollution masks. Our pollution masks are rated the best protection against air pollution by the American Health Society. The air is increasingly getting polluted according to the American Health Society. We could partner with a popular brand of coffee filter to improve the quality of our pollution mask. And finally, the E1, diversification could be implemented overseas where nature is clean of phosphate. So remember, opportunities are facts. Opportunities are not what you're going to do. Since the air is polluted, we should be making pollution masks. Is that correct?
I wouldn't.
No, it's not. The first one is not, because it says what you should be doing. Air is polluted, we should be making masks. Our pollution masks are rated the best protection against pollution. Is that an opportunity? No. That's a strength. Okay, so SWOT, that's a S. The air is increasingly getting polluted according to the American Health Society. That's the one. Exactly.
Yeah. It's not a nice fact, but it's a fact.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's not a nice fact. Now, what's missing? Would you say there's anything missing in this fact? What would you add to make it better? What would you tune it up with to make it better?
Like a hard percentage number?
Yes, like I don't know who said that, but that's absolutely correct. You want a percent. So you want to say the air is increasingly getting polluted from 2020 to 2024, according to a source. It says a source, and a year, it has increased by 12%. So you need to have a percentage because that gives you the value of the momentum. Obviously, if you say 2,000% more polluted, then you go, anyone doing a mask for pollution, and if you find there's nobody, then you're going to get rich pretty fast, most likely. But if you find you have a lot of competitors, then it's tricky. So it's all like this. So what's important is you need to have an increase or a decrease by a percentage with a source and a date. So remember this: increase, decrease by a percentage, by a special date, by a special source. So if your source is horrible, is bad, weak, then it's not that great. If you're missing the percentage, we don't know the direction and the power. If there's no increase, decrease is not clear. So you need to have all of these elements. So let's look at CSUN. What's the opportunity of CSUN? Well, CSUN is in one of the most populated valley in America. CSUN is very affordable. So very affordable, that's a strength. But you could say that people are looking for good value when it comes to education. So according to Nielsen, the source, in 2021, people look for good value when trying to find a university. Boom, that's the opportunity. Now, what about Martha Stewart? What's the opportunity? What's the strength? Martha Stewart is a successful billionaire, woman entrepreneur, because she started writing cooking books. Was she a cook? Was she a chef? No. Did she know about cooking? Not really. So how did she write cooking books? Because she figured she knew enough to write cooking books. She didn't know she knew how to cook, but she knew how to write the books. So she started writing cooking books. She didn't know she'd become a billionaire. So sometimes all it takes is some courage. and write the book. Was she better than 50% of the people? Yeah. So she wrote the book for 50% of the people. They wrote the book and they loved the book. And what did they want after? After they say, Marta, Marta, tell me how I cook. Marta, Marta, tell me what kind of stove do I buy? Marta, Marta, tell me what kind of plate do I buy? Marta, Marta, tell me what kind of kitchen remodel do I need to do? Okay. So she went through the whole thing and people used her as what we call today an influencer. So she was an influencer 40 years ago, using the traditional way of being an influencer back then. Sometimes it doesn't take to be good. It just takes to have some kind of just noticeable difference, just a little bit more than who you're talking to. So if you're talking to an expert, obviously they're laughing at your face. Don't talk to an expert if you only know a little bit of something. Talk to the people that don't know, and they're going to think you know more than you really know. Fake it till you make it. There's a bit of this in business. Callaway Golf. So this company became very big, and what they thought is that you should be creating a business that creates a golf. They created the golf clubs with the head of the golf club huge. They look like a baseball bat, those golf clubs. And so when they started doing this, people laugh at them. But when people started hitting the ball was so powerful, was so straight, was so wonderful that people all wanted to have those big golf clubs. And that became a style of golf. Toms, if you buy one shoe, we give one shoe to someone else. People like to help others. eBay. eBay is the idea that people have a lot of used things and they don't want to go and dump it at the Salvation Army. Is they may want to give it to someone else through an online eBay thing. What about this company? This company is really cool. Invented by two students. They were bored and broke. They were looking through the window and all they could see were big trucks after big trucks after big trucks. And this was in Europe, in Switzerland. When you see big trucks after big trucks, what you see is you see that these trucks have tarps on them. And then they wonder, what do they do with the tarp? And so they started studying, preparing, writing a business plan. And they found that the tarps gets disposed, thrown away. So then they went to see the place that throw away the tarp and they say, can we have the tarp? And those people say, yes, of course, we have to pay to burn them. You guys are nuts. You're going to take the tarp. Here you go. Take it. We save money by giving it to you. So then they took the tarp and they created a fashion company. I mean, if you put freightag.com, you will see they have a very successful fashion company, super successful. And they are designing all of these with some amazing designs. And it says it's on the thing. We manufacture this bag from used truck tarps, used seat belts, and used inner tubes. And so they make all kinds of amazing bags. TGO, have you heard of TGO? It's this great outdoor company. They make gym equipment, outdoor gym equipment, that when you actually use the gym equipment, you generate electricity. So instead of pumping, you pump, and this generates electricity for your city or for the local school. And so all these people that go to the gym, they may be pumping iron, but as they're doing this, all the machine that they make move is generating electricity, and this electricity is actually be used for some money.